Ever find yourself stuck somewhere, like seriously bored with nothing to do?
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
But then, bam, streaming services come to the rescue. Hit play and escape reality.
Totally. Happens to the best of us.
But have you ever wondered about the tech wizardry that makes it all possible?
The magic behind the curtain.
Today, we're going on a little digital journey to uncover those secrets.
I love a good tech deep dive.
Hmm.
What are we diving into today?
We're talking about streaming.
Streaming. People think it's just watching videos online.
Right, like it's so simple.
But it's a total revolution in how we enjoy movies and shows and everything.
We're not tied to physical media or TV schedules anymore. It's on-demand entertainment.
Yeah, forget browsing video stores.
Yeah.
We've got these massive digital libraries at our fingertips.
It's like having every movie ever made just a click away.
Precisely.
But how does all that content actually get to our screens?
That's the million-dollar question.
Are we talking about warehouses stacked with tiny, shrunken-down movies?
Like, honey, I shrunk the kids. But for movies.
Exactly.
Haha. I wish it were that simple. Well, we don't shrink the movies themselves.
Okay, good to know.
The warehouse analogy isn't that far off. We're talking about data centers.
Data centers, those sound serious.
They are. Think of them as massive Fort Knox for data, packed with rows upon rows of servers.
Servers, like really powerful computers.
You got it. And they're working 24/7, storing and delivering all those movies and shows we love.
So no tiny movies, but an army of supercomputers instead.
Exactly. An army working tirelessly to fuel our streaming addictions.
Still, I'm stuck on how those massive files appear on my screen instantly.
Right. It feels like magic.
Like digital teleportation.
It's not teleportation,
Yeah.
but it's pretty close. Instead of sending the whole file at once, it's broken down into smaller data packets.
Like slicing up a pizza and delivering each slice separately.
You're catching on. These data packets travel super fast through the internet and arrive at your device in a specific order.
So my movie is like a digital jigsaw puzzle, piecing itself together on my screen.
Exactly, and it happens so quickly you don't even notice the assembly process.
That is until we run into the dreaded buffering.
Yes, buffering, the enemy of smooth streaming.
It's like hitting a traffic jam on the information superhighway.
That's a great way to put it. Your internet speed plays a big role here. Think of it as the width of the highway. The wider, the smoother the traffic flow.
Makes sense. A faster connection means less chance of those frustrating pauses.
You got it.
But let's go back to those massive files for a second.
Yeah.
How do they even travel that fast without clogging up the internet?
That's where encoding comes in. Imagine packing a suitcase for a trip. You wouldn't just throw everything in randomly, would you?
Hopefully not. I like to keep my suitcase organized.
Exactly. Encoding is like efficiently packing those large video files. It compresses them, making them smaller and easier to transmit without sacrificing the picture quality.
So it's like zipping a file, but on a much larger and more sophisticated scale.
Precisely. It's a crucial step in making streaming possible, especially with limited bandwidth or data caps.
It's all about making sure we get the best streaming experience possible.
Absolutely. Whether you're on a fast Wi-Fi connection or using mobile data, encoding, make sure you can enjoy your movies and shows without any hiccups.
That's essential, especially when you're on the go or dealing with unreliable internet.
Exactly.
But the internet is global, right? What happens when the server with my movie is miles away?
That's where content delivery networks, or CDNs, come into play.
CDNs, are those like digital mail carriers?
Not quite, but I like your thinking. Imagine a network of servers strategically placed all over the globe.
Like strategically positioned pizza delivery places.
Exactly. Each CDN server holds copies of popular content. So instead of your movie traveling across continents, it comes from a server much closer to you.
So it's like having a streaming library branch right in my neighborhood.
Exactly. CDNs make sure you get a smooth and enjoyable experience wherever you are.
It's like a high-speed train for my movies.
And with multiple routes to get to your destination quickly.
Speaking of experiences, let's talk about the user interface.
The UI, the gateway to our streaming adventures.
It always looks so slick and easy to use.
It's more than just a pretty face, though.
There's a brain behind those buttons.
Absolutely. The UI is constantly talking to those servers.
While I'm busy browsing for my next binge watch,
Sending requests, receiving data, and keeping the whole streaming show running.
I never realized how much was happening behind the scenes.
And don't forget about those personalized recommendations.
You mean those you might also like suggestions?
Those aren't just random picks. you know?
They seem to know my taste scarily well sometimes.
That's the power of algorithms analyzing what you watch and predicting what you might enjoy.
So it's like having a personal movie advisor curating my entertainment.
Precisely. They help you discover new favorites and keep the good times rolling.
But what about when the internet decides to act up?
Yes, when our connection slows down to a crawl.
Those are dark times.
Fear not, my friend. That's where adaptive bitrate streaming comes in.
Adaptive bitrate streaming sounds intense. What is that exactly?
Think of it as a secret weapon against buffering.
A secret weapon. I like the sound of that.
It's constantly checking your internet speed and adjusting the video quality accordingly.
So if my internet dips, adaptive bitrate streaming secretly downgrades the quality to prevent buffering.
Yeah, it sacrifices a bit of resolution temporarily to keep the show running.
So I don't even notice a difference.
Most of the time you won't.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that balance between quality and smooth playback.
That is seriously impressive. It's like it's anticipating my pain and stopping it before it starts.
It's all thanks to some clever engineering behind the scenes.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. It makes you appreciate how complex streaming actually is.
And we're just scratching the surface. The future of streaming promises even more exciting advancements.
Okay, now you've really got my attention. What's on the horizon?
We're talking next-level immersion and interactivity like nothing we've seen before.
Immersive and interactive. Are we going to be living in the movies soon?
Haha. Maybe not quite yet, but we're getting closer.
So spill the beans. What's next for the world of streaming?
Well, for starters, live streaming is absolutely exploding right now.
True. It's like being part of the action, even if you're miles away.
Exactly, and it's changing how we experience everything, from concerts and sporting events to gaming tournaments and even breaking news.
There's a certain energy to live events that you just can't replicate.
Absolutely, and live streaming taps into that desire for shared experiences and real-time connection.
So it's not just about watching anymore. It's about being a part of something bigger.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And as technology keeps evolving, live streaming is only going to become more immersive and engaging.
I'm excited to see where it goes next. So what else is in store for the future of streaming?
Get ready for virtual reality and augmented reality to rock the streaming world.
VR and AR in streaming. Now that sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It's closer than you think. Imagine watching a concert and feeling like you're right there in the front row or exploring a far-off destination without leaving your living room.
Wow, from watching grainy VHS tapes to feeling like we're in the movie? That's quite the evolution.
And it's not just about entertainment anymore. Think about education.
Oh, right. Like virtual field trips and stuff.
Exactly. Imagine students experiencing historical events firsthand through VR or learning complex science concepts through interactive AR.
It'd be like having a time machine in the classroom. Okay, let's come back to the present for a sec.
Right, back to you. So next time you hit play, think about all that invisible tech making it happen.
Seriously, it's incredible when you break it down like that, from data centers to algorithms. Who knew streaming was so complex?
And it makes you wonder, what's next for streaming? What's the next big thing?
Right. Are we going to be streaming holographic movies in our living rooms? Will we be able to high-five our favorite characters?
Who knows? The future is full of surprises. But one thing is certain, streaming is going to keep evolving. And I'm along for the ride.
Me too. And on that note, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. But keep those streaming dreams alive, because who knows what the future holds. Until next time, happy streaming, everyone.